Jax, a lot of CC for the Olaf to run straight the way through. I mean, as you mentioned, though, we haven't been seeing a lot of great performances on the Olaf, but this could be the game that Snorlax can pop off.
It could be the change maker. It could definitely change all our minds, especially from the performance of what we've seen from the Olaf. Again, what we mentioned earlier, the Shyvana being banned out as well could have been a potential pickup for Ultimate Baguette. Obviously, Olaf is going to be the jungle for the side of International Jobcenter, so I can imagine we're going to see a few more of these jungle bans come through from International Jobcenter, whether it be something like the Jin Sao as well, because again, that was another one of the big picks for the previous day. But then over to the side of Ultimate Baguette, she's probably looking at trying to take down some of these carries like the Orianna, as we just saw get locked, take down there. Potentially some more AP damage lockdowns. I mean, overall, yes, they don't have any onto the side of International Jobcenter just yet. We don't really want to be seeing anything like a Swain or a Vladimir being picked in, because obviously how horrible sometimes that pick can be after that right amount of time to scale as well.
Waiting for the next bans to come on through. Got to be another jungler. It's going to be the Kha'Zix. Really ban away them carry junglers away from Final Wax. Again, as I mentioned multiple times, Final Wax is the... he wants to be the main character on the team. You know, he wants to be the man, the carry man on the team to try and lead his team to victory. He's not going to be able to get his hands on the Kha'Zix or the Shyvana in this game. Orianna being banned and Vladimir being banned. Two very good bans away here from Ultimate Baguette. Again, you're probably looking at... who's even left here? You can try and maybe go Ziggs if you want to as a potential. There's not really too much else that you can go for here in terms of AP damage. Volibear is definitely not a lot of AP damage here, and you probably need something else. Or you can prioritize maybe picking your support here. Maybe an Alistar could be really good. Milio?
Okay.
This might be Milio Kai'Sa. I'm pretty sure this is going to be Milio Kai'Sa. This is going to be very, very interesting. I mean, Milio is a classic enchanter that can counter a lot of these melee champions and a lot of these bruisers, you know, with the Jax, with the, you know, well, other bruisers come on in, even Leona as well. Darius, Milio could do very well against the Darius. But the great thing is Milio has a cleanse built into his ultimate. And what do Ultimate Baguette have at the moment? Crowd control, Jax CC, Varus CC, Leona CC. They have so much CC on their side. I think it might be a Milio Kai'Sa angle, because Kai'Sa is really the only AD carry left, and Kai'Sa does do a little bit of AP damage with that Volibear, and that could be enough. There's no way they pick away the Kai'Sa. There is no way they go Varus solo lane and they pick away. There's no way. There's just no way.
Nope, they do.
Oh my god, is that I need to check if this is a mispick or not. It's not a mispick. Oh my god, they picked away the Kai'Sa. That is absolutely unreal that they pick away the Kai'Sa there. I mean, it was written in the stars. As soon as you pick this Milio, you know that the Kai'Sa is going to be locked in. So now they're going to play Varus in a solo lane, and Kai'Sa is going to be paired with the Leona. They pick the Zeri instead. My god, what a crazy draft coming into game number 3 as well. And this is what I love to see. This is why Fearless Draft is so much fun. You pick away picks that you cannot go anymore in this entire series. This is 3 other AD carries taken out of the pool. Normally we only get 1 AD carry per team. Now we get Kai'Sa and Varus in the same goddamn team. What are we looking at?
I mean, they're probably going to be looking at, obviously, Varus is going to be caster bot only. Obviously, he is the marksman down there. Potentially, he could build AP. Obviously, we do know that both of these picks could go AP if they really wanted to. They don't really have much AP damage onto the side of Ultimate Baguettes if neither of those actually do build AP. So I feel like that's probably going to be one of the causes of Ultimate Baguette for that one. But the Zeri being locked in here, like you said, both now Zeri, Varus, and Kai'Sa all being taken off the table here. For Fearless Draft, that means that that bot side of the map is going to have a very small champion pool to kind of pull away from. We're probably going to see a lot more AP champions come through after this game number 3.
Yeah, picks like the Vladimir and the Orianna being banned out for that second banning phase was, again, as I mentioned, very, very smart. They could have flexed the Poppy into support. They could have picked the Vladimir in the solo lane as that AP damage source. But again, they weren't able to do that. That Milio pick just completely threw me off guard though. Completely threw me off guard. I was not expecting a Milio to be picked here in game number 3. This is the exciting part of Fearless Draft. Once all these tank supports get taken away, that's it. It's time to shine here now for the enchanters to reign supreme. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Karma, Seraphine, maybe even Lulu being picked as the next few support champions. But look at this as well. I didn't even realize Final Wax is playing Darius jungle. This is something I've not seen for years, honestly. Like, Darius has been struggling a lot in jungle with being able to kite and being able to get advantages in ganking, but there's so many crazy picks in this game that it's super exciting to watch.
Exactly. I mean, that was probably my only call that I probably knew was coming out there, right? Was the fact that Darius had to be in the jungle, because I mean, Leona and Jax more likely aren't going to be up to the jungle as well, into the jungle as well. So the phase rush Darius does make a return. Very strange to see, but let's see if Final Wax can carry with it, right?
Oh, exactly that. I mean, Final Wax needs to be the carry. Needs to make sure that he can go in. Needs to make sure that he's the one that goes for the engage. And he wants to be, as I always say, the main character for this team, making sure that he can do enough to get the resets in team fights, because that's exactly what you want as this Darius. You want the reset in team fights. But it's going to be very difficult. There's not really too many champions that you can get resets on, because this Zeri and Milio are going to be very far behind these frontline champions. So Darius needs to get these stacks and needs to try and burst down the likes of the Olaf, the Poppy, and the Volibear before they can try and break through. Or before he can try and break through, sorry, onto the likes of Zeri and Milio on the back line.
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky way for both, obviously, for Ultimate Baguette to try and get into these team fights. I mean, we do have a little bit more range on the side of Ultimate Baguettes for now, so I feel like they have a little bit more of a blessing, as long as their front line can kind of be strong enough for them, or at least forefront for them to actually have the positioning they need to lay down the damage. But obviously, having the Varus, it's going to have a long-range poke, and we've seen some real big damage numbers come out from a Varus as well.
Varus does have a lot of lockdown, does have a lot of damage as well at the same time, as you mentioned, you know, with the arrows coming on through, with him stacking up his passive. It's going to be very important to see if the Varus can make a big difference. I think all my eyes this game, though, are definitely on the Olaf. You know, can the Olaf get onto the backline, onto the Varus, onto the Kai'Sa? Because there's not really a lot of lockdown for this Kai'Sa. You know, there's no real engage in terms of, there's no Leona, there's no Maokai, there's no lockdown for this Kai'Sa, so she can really run around in team fights and do a lot of damage. The only real threat at the moment that is going to happen for this Kai'Sa and for the Varus is the Olaf. If the Olaf can get shut down early on, then I feel like the double AD carry setup here for Ultimate Baguette is going to run over this game.
Yeah, exactly. If they can't get the shutdown onto those two, then it's going to be a bit of an issue for the side of International Jobcenter. But for now, they don't really have too much of an issue. They haven't dropped a single death yet. Neither of these teams have. They're just kind of still feeling themselves within this 3-minute mark. Gotta be careful, though. Okay, the damage does go over the Quake there. We are seeing those snipes actually land from the side of Ultimate Baguette for now. Just gotta make sure that they aren't getting those kind of death or winning blows.
Yeah, Leona using the ultimate quite early there. He should still have it up for the objectives. Kai'Sa taking a little bit of damage as well, but you're seeing Heste just waiting in the wings at the moment. He's making sure that he hovers along both of these AD carries. Whether it's the Kai'Sa, whether it's the... Oh, they're actually going to jump in onto random here. The flash hook as well from Final Wax. The dunk comes on through. First blood for the Kai'Sa. Great pick up there from Ultimate Baguette. Had to use both of their flashes, but they do get first bloods.
Again, just bullying random in the early game. I mean, he definitely seems to be able to take it, because, I mean, he turned around that game number 2 bullying into a victory. So they're going to be like, you know what, let's focus that side lane once again. Obviously, random, if he's left to it, he can obviously make a monstrous mess of your side lanes. So again, Ultimate gets like, you know what, we're not going to let him do that.
Have a look and see how the rest of these fights are going to be happening. Just a few exchanges. You're seeing that Volibear is having an absolute field day in this top side of the map at the moment. The gold is pretty even, but Volibear is just completely unkillable in this side lane. It's very difficult to try and lock down this this volley bear in the early game. Just so much shielding, so much AoE damage. And interesting enough, you're seeing a bit of a change in this game number 3, Blam. International Jobcenter are going to be going for the dragon to start things off here instead of contesting that early Rift Heralds.
Yeah, strange. They're going for obviously the first dragon of the game. Maybe they're looking to try and prioritize the potential takedown of the Dragon Soul, but gotta be careful here. Snorlax trying to get the dive in onto the Kaiser. Flash over the wall. It's gonna be the Zeri with the poke, but final blow goes over to Snorlax as well. Gotta be careful though. They do trade the Kaiser for this top T1 into the top side of the map, and also Ultimate Baguette do have the Rift Herald, so they could potentially go and get some more Turret Platings if they want to. Yeah,
totally agree. They still have the Rift Herald. They take the first tower of the game into the top lane, but that's like an Olaf dream right there. Like if you're playing Olaf, you see a Kai'Sa and a Varus walking in the bush in front of you, you're like, yeah, good luck, have fun. I'm just gonna press my ultimate and run straight towards you. It's really unfortunate there. Kai'Sa actually played really well. Ultimate away from the Olaf. Olaf then flashed. Kai'Sa flashed back over the wall, but Kai'Sa flashed back onto the Zeri W. So unfortunately got slowed and also got hit by the axe from the Olaf in the end. So a little bit unfortunate there from the Kai'Sa going down, but she has the first item online. So does the Varus as well. Olaf unfortunately still doesn't have his first item. He's still farming through his jungle and needs to wait and kind of go back to base to get that 22 force speed. As you mentioned, that Rift Herald still in the hands here of Final Axe. We're kind of figuring out what he's going to try and do here with this Rift Herald. He does have that empowered recall, so he is kind of keeping it as an empowered recall at the moment, but tower placings are dropping, I believe, in 10 seconds, so he doesn't have a lot of time here to drop the Rift Herald to try and get some tower platings. Or is it 7 minutes 30 seconds? I can't remember if it's 7 minutes or 7 minutes 30 seconds. I'm pretty sure it's 7 minutes. Oh no, we'll fall soon, so it's in 30 seconds. So 7 minutes 30 seconds, just has enough time to drop this Rift Herald into the bot lane. You're sitting the dual lane for Ultimate Baguette looking to try and rotate. Oh my god, look.
Beautiful. Wow.
I didn't even know you could ultimate the Rift Herald away as Poppy. That's completely broken.
Just he got completely mitigated that push there. It's like, I'm waiting for it, click it, and maybe even potentially keep this alive. I mean, turret plating has fallen, so they don't get the extra gold. Yep, we do see Snorlax into the backline here onto SDs, but we do see the Icanthium Rain come through. Not going to do quite enough damage just yet onto anything like the Olaf, but they do save that T1 into the bot side of the map.
Oh, that was absolutely beautiful. That was so satisfying to watch as well. And the cameraman just followed the Rift Herald and the champions as they flew all the way up into the air, all the way back down. They did get the charge off though, so that is going to give them more tower platings, and it's actually given them roughly about a 2k gold lead in this early game, even though International Jobcenter were able to get that first blood. As you mentioned, Blam, you know, they traded the kill for the top tower, and they were able to get multiple platings in that bot lane as well. So in terms of tower platings, up in favor of Ultimate Baguette, and that means that they do have a little bit of a gold lead this early on.
Yeah, they're going to need it, especially trying to build the itemization into Varus as well as the Kai'Sa. Obviously, Soul Reaver as well as Terminus being built here for these two picks. Obviously, some great early game damage for those tier 3 items this far. But like you were saying, they do have a roughly around about a 2k gold lead over International Jobcenter for now. And they are able to take that T1 down to the bot side of the map. So really opening up these side lanes. The pressure is on for International Jobcenter.
Pressure is on. We'll have to see if Ultimate Baguette can continue this goal lead for now. But and the big thing here is, you know, what can a Zeri do in team fights? I think this Zeri is going to be very scary here with the Milio, where we go into the mid game and the late game. But it's all about what the Zeri can do in these fights. If Zeri can be a main carry, you're seeing the Milio actually go for Ardent Center as a first item, really prioritizing the attack speed onto the likes of the Olaf, the Zeri, even champions like Volibear and Poppy. It can work very well as well. And I didn't even realize as well, but there is a lot of AD damage on the side of International Jobcenter this game. They only really have Volibear as the AP damage, and you're already seeing pretty much everyone go for plated steel caps here. Even the Kai'Sa going for plated steel caps for Ultimate Baguette. So they know that the main damage threats are all going to be AD champions. Zeke's has already been built as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see some more armor items across the board. But meanwhile, a pick onto the Varus, I believe that is. Yes, Varus with a huge mistake. Not too sure why you would walk in the river there at that moment. Poppy, random, doing very well at capitalizing on the mistake, using that stun to get up against the wall. And that's going to be the second dragon now for International Jobcenter. So they're really starting to stack these dragons. And Ice Dragon is definitely one of the best dragon souls that you can get in this game. So if they can get that third dragon as well, it's going to give them a bit of an advantage.
That's actually that 3% advantage if they can get it. Is going to be better for the side of International Jobcenter rather than kind of just completely losing it and contesting that third Drake when it does come through. We have a bit of pressure into the bot side of the map there. They are able to get the T1 into the bot side of the map, so trying to get some more lane priority is International Jobcenter, because that's what they're struggling with right now, right? I mean, their team fights haven't really been popping off as in terms of a full team fight between these two teams, but the pickoffs are still going into the favor of International Jobcenter, so they need to change this lineup.
Yeah, I think I was talking about, how Ultimate Baguette can actually try and, use that gold lead to their advantage, use the tower platings and the early tower that they got to their advantage. Unfortunately, haven't been able to. Sometimes what happens is when the early Rift Herald goes down, you use that gold lead in the early game to actually try and contest the second dragon. But the pull is going to be happening over the wall here. Random actually gets his ultimate stopped, but he's going to flash back over the wall here, try and push Patres towards his team, but that's not going to work. Patres also flashes away as well. No kills going across the board, just a few summoner spells, and again, no more kills. We had 3 kills in 12 minutes in this game, Blam, and this is what I mean by this series, and this game in general is going to be very, very close, and it's going to be really exciting to see the outcome once a few more items and everything comes online.
Yeah, I feel like that's where the scaling really comes through for both of these teams, is definitely when those next few itemizations do come through with these. Obviously, we have the Blade of the Rune King going on to the Kai'Sa, as well as the Serpent's Fang going over to the Varus. So already sort of like 2 itemizations coming in, as well as the Steric's Gauge as well for the Darius here. So obviously a little bit more in terms of the defense, but again, we're seeing a little bit of a ring around the poses around the Baron Nashor for now. We do see Carlos in the back line doing a lot of damage onto Patres and Hestis here. The snipers come through from the Zeri as well. Shio doing a bit of damage into Hestis. Hestis have to force the flash as well, using the Volleyball ultimate, but then bringing him close to the Chain to Corruption, locking Carlos in place. May have just saved the lives of some of Ultimate Baguettes, but no, we do get Snorlax getting the kill onto Hestis, so Leona is down. We see Kai'Sa going down, as well as the Darius as well. This has been a concise team fight, a 3-2 trade overall.
A complete mess of a team fight, to be honest with you. Like, there are so many fights happening across the map. Snorlax was looking for a tower dive onto Leona. Kai'Sa was just getting absolutely bullied on the backline. But this whole time, Milio and Zeri were completely untouched. These are 2 champions that you have to look at in these team fights. If there is no way for the likes of Patres and Final Wax or even Heste to jump on this Zeri and Milio, they're going to run away with these team fights. And that's exactly what happened there. They saved that team fight, because it looks really dire at the start there, with Volibear diving in by himself, Snorlax tower diving and not being able to get any kills. But Shy and Quant has to be the the main carries in this team composition, with that extra range and the extra damage that Milio is giving over to that Zeri. But they are going to be starting off the Baron again. There is no vision at all. They take this Baron very, very quickly. They're not even going to ward it. This might go down without anything at all. The flash doesn't even come through. A free Baron Nashor taken under the nose of International Jobcenter. And that came from absolutely nothing, Blam.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. Obviously, like you said, no vision meant that they had to take it quick, unless that International Jobcenter was like, right, okay, we're going to go and try it. They try and launch the axe into there. Obviously, we saw Snorlax try and get that last little hit to try and make sure and overturn that Smite death. But it just wasn't enough. No flash committed. And after a team fight that went into the favor of International Jobcenter, they completely just crushed that momentum that they had after that team fight.
Yeah, when you have this double AD carry composition with the Kai'Sa and the Varus, you melt objectives. Objectives go in an instant, and you can see there that how quickly that Baron Nashor got taken. Now we have the Dragon coming up in 15 seconds, and you can see the main priority now for Ultimate Baguette. They're not really too worried about pushing these towers with this Baron Nashor. They want to deny away that Dragon Soul. Snorlax still doesn't have his flashback up, but they're not even going to try and get this Dragon Soul. They're just going to kill Patras here in the top side. They're just going to take the free kill and nothing else. Patras is going to risk his life. The Dragon is going to be taken here by Ultimate Baguette. So again, another game of no Dragon Soul. It was very close, and to be honest, if that Elder wasn't, if the Baron wasn't taken, then International Jobcenter did have an opportunity there to try and take that Dragon Soul, but it's so difficult to fight when Baron Nashor has been taken.
Yeah, I mean, the Baron Nashor with the enhanced minions is going to be very difficult for them to try and even defend these turrets, right? The T2 into the mid lane looking like it's going to get taken down here, but they are going to try and defend it the best they can. International Jobcenter with a 3-on-2 chase right now, but we do see, obviously, Kai'Sa was into the side lanes, but getting the recall back, trying to get the push taken away from the Olaf into the top side of the map. Snorlax trying to go for a little bit pressure into both of these lanes. Whilst they try and go 5 here, okay. Final Wax gets the pull in, but nothing's going to come of this just for now.
Yeah, no Varus flash and no Darius flash used in that last fight. It looks like Varus was trying to flash forward to get a pick onto the Zeri, and as I said, like, I feel like there is no way the International Jobcenter can get onto the Zeri. Look at that. Every time that any sort of crowd control gets hit onto the Zeri, he has QSS, he has a Milio Ultima, and to be honest, Milio might even get Veil Enchant as well. So there are 3 ways in which they can stop any crowd control to getting on top of the Zeri. And I think outside of the crowd control, they don't have any ways of getting onto the Zeri at all. They have the front line with the Olaf, with the Poppy, and also the Volibear. Also cleanse as well. Thanks in chat for reminding me about that. There's also a cleanse in there. It's actually, that's actually 4 ways. And you'll see now Zeri is just running over this team fight, dodges away from the chain of corruption as well. Milio is just standing by the side of the Zeri. Zeri dashes over the wall. Needs to be careful a little bit on the tower dive. Patras trying to jump in onto the back line, but is not going to be able to do enough damage onto the Zeri. He jumps again, but Zeri dashes over the wall. Patras is still alive. He goes down though, and that is 2 kills for 1 over to the side of International Jobcenter. Baron is up in 15 seconds, but Final Wax is down 420. So they have a 5-second window here to potentially try and take Baron in a 4 versus 3 scenario, but with their jungler down as well at the same time, I think it's going to be very risky, Blam.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a risk I would take here, because obviously the snipe from the Varus as well as
they're going to try and turn.
Can they keep themselves alive exactly into the backline there? We do get the stun onto the Poppy, but takedown onto the Varus is going to be pretty frightful for the side of the Ultimate Baguette as they're trying to take Final Wax down once more. They're trying to chase for him. They get the kill onto Final Wax again. So no smite for the side of Ultimate Baguette. So this could really be a free invade here for Snorlax if he really wants it.
I mean, the Baron's going to go down. The Elder's going to go down at this point. Both major objectives are going to go down. It looks like Final Wax was trying to TP into that fight to try and save the day, to try and stop them from winning this game. But I think it's all International Jobcenter at the moment. Random is tanking so much damage on this front line. Volibear is just going to jump on in. They might not need the Elder Dragon to finish this game. Patras tries to flash away as a distraction. That's not going to be enough. Heste is going to drop down as well. Random's going to keep on running down mid. They don't have any minions, so they might just go back, play towards the Elder Dragon, play safe. But again, look at this. 0 deaths for the Zeri, 0 deaths for the Milio. Both of them completely untouched, and they just have no way of diving on in. You know, when you pick this double AD carry composition, you need to find a way to get these AD carries ahead to try and defeat the likes of the Enchanters, the Zeri coming through as well. But what can you do when there's just no one that can even kill or even get onto the Zeri?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just no access into the backline for the side of Ultimate Baguettes. I mean, they had the likes of the Jax as well. Obviously, Leona can try and set something up as well. But the way it's kind of been trying to manage that access into the backline has not been the most successful for the side of Ultimate Baguette. And you can really see here that International Jobcenter just had a field day with this, right? I mean, going back in with another fight, Randoms into the back line there, trying to push them in as well. Patras looking pretty low. He does get taken down as well. Pest is going down. I mean, they have the Elder Drake with the Execute as well, just making this a little bit too easy for them as they're going to close out this Game 3 for International Jobcenter, pushing them all at the Crystal as well. The Nexus trying to get a triple kill.
Final
okay. Hello, but Snorlax is just going to be able to sustain and just tank through that one with the minions at the Nexus.
That was a little bit close. Final X just pulled 2 people underneath the base tower and nearly killed them all with his ultimate. That could have gone horribly wrong there for International Jobcenter, but in the end, they are able to close out the victory. Again, for me, the big picks there was that Milio. I mean, I think it was very smart for Ultimate Baguette to deny away the Kai'Sa. You know, as soon as that Milio gets hit, the best AD carry to play with an Enchanter support right now in the current meta is going to be the Kai'Sa. But when the Kai'Sa gets taken away, you're kind of limited to what else you can pick. So they pick away the Zeri, but Zeri again is another great champion. I mean, Zeri and Milio would have been deathless if they didn't int underneath the Nexus right at the end there. But still, look at the performance overall from both Shy and Quant. You know, this Enchanter plus AD carry style, there is nothing at all. Like, you just put these two teams against each other again. Who touches the Zeri and the Milio? If anyone's playing any of these champions, you know, the Darius can't jump on, the Jax can't jump on. Any single time that the Zeri gets CC'd, she has Cleanse, QSS. Even Quant got Stasis in the end to make sure that he stays alive because he's in chance support and he's very, very squishy. So overall, just a great game plan, a great draft here for International Jobcenter, and they're able to